What's up? Hey, Pauline. Welcome. We're going to wait a few moments for more folks to join us. Good to see you guys. Welcome to day 3 of our Move Your Mountains challenge. We have been going in this week, and tonight is no different. I am excited about what we're going to cover tonight. As you're joining, just let us know you're here so we can give you a shout out. Hope you guys had a great day as you are joining. Let us know you're here. Hey, Felix, welcome. Felix said he is ready. Love it. Love the energy and enthusiasm. Welcome. I'm excited. All right, we're going to give folks another minute or two to join us. I had to take quite a few notes for tonight's mountain, and we are going to go in. It's a very, very thought-provoking, very powerful topic tonight. One that's been very impactful on my journey of personal development. So I'm excited to share it with each and every one of you. Whether you are watching live or you're catching the replay, all of my replayers, please leave your comments. Let us know that you joined us, even after the fact. I'm definitely going to go back and read all of the comments. Sydney said present. Hey, Sydney. Sydney, you have been consistent. You, Pauline, Felix, I love it. Love the energy and the commitment to your personal growth and your commitment to moving those mountains that are in your life. Love it. All right, we're going to give folks another minute. So as we're waiting for folks to join, we do have some new people that joined the group, and appreciate everyone inviting family and friends or people that they work with who they believe will really gain value from our group. You can continue to invite people. They do have to be approved into the group. However, we welcome those that are into personal development, that understand the power of the intersection of personal growth, faith, and wellness. And that is what we're looking to accomplish in this group. Hey, Mahalia. Mahalia said, happy Wednesday, everyone. So we are at day 3 of our Move Our Mountains challenge. And I hope everyone has been utilizing the PDF files that I've been uploading into the group. And just a quick announcement and a reminder that at the end of the week, by the weekend, those of you who complete all of the PDF files and handouts, you can screenshot me, send a message, let me know, and show me that you've completed all 5, and you're going to get a special recognition within the group. And we want to big you up just for being committed and completing the challenge. And we'll also have some other bonuses and exciting things for each of you that do complete that. Okay, so I'm in New York. For those of us that are in New York, we have a thunderstorm warning watch in effect. So you may hear some thunder and noise in the background. And I failed to mention earlier in the week that I live near a hospital. So oftentimes, a lot of my stress or seriousness on my face or the energy I have is because of the tension that I feel when the outside noise comes into the background. And I just find it distracting. So anyway, just wanted to share that in case anyone picks up on that and you notice it. I live near a hospital in Brooklyn, New York, and there's a lot of noise, sirens, and things of that nature. All right, day 3, let's move in to what we're doing. So tonight we're talking about the mountain of self-sabotage. Now, self-sabotage came up in the group earlier last week or this week when we were talking about fears and we were talking about what are the different mountains people have, and self-sabotage was one that showed up quite a few times, and I really felt impressed to talk about the mountain of self-sabotage because it's one of those things that is very subtle and it's really hard to detect and really break free from. So we spoke about the mountain of murkiness, which really just means lack of clarity, and this mountain of operating in vagueness and confusion. We also spoke about moving the mountain of fear, the different fears that we have, how those fears debilitate us. Today, we're talking about the mountain of self sabotage. You know, we can have clarity and we can begin to build up courage to move forward. And somehow, while we're moving forward, there can be some things that happen that take us back where we started or even 10 steps from where we started. So if you have ever seen yourself maybe set goals and you started out enthusiastic and you had like your plan of action, you're moving forward, and all of a sudden you hit like this bump, this wall, and now you're stuck or you're not meeting your goals and you say, whoa, what happened? Like I was prepared for this, I was ready for this. And oftentimes, if we peel off the layers of what's happening in our thought process, there is self sabotage there somewhere. So let's dig in and let's really identify what self sabotage is. Pauline said it's already started. All right, so if you are ready to dig in, just put in the comment box, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Who's ready to dig in to the topic of self sabotage? I'm ready. I want to know who else is ready. Hey, why is it not typing? Yeah, it's pouring here in Brooklyn now, Pauline. So who else is ready to dig into the topic of self-sabotage? Just type I'm ready in the comment section so I know that you are ready. Pauline is ready to go. Love it. Mahalia said the mountain of self-sabotage. That's what we're covering tonight. If you are ready to dig in and really dissect this, Mahalia said, I'm ready. Okay, so let's dig right in. So what is self-sabotage? Felix said, I'm ready to rumble. Rumble like this thunder? Love it. So self-sabotage is when we are trapped in patterns that create problems in our lives that keep us from achieving our goals. Self-sabotage is when we try to make changes and disrupt these patterns, but somehow we end up in the same place again and again. It's almost like that hamster on a wheel concept where we're moving, but we're not getting anywhere, right? Self-sabotage is behavior that can affect nearly every aspect of our life, including relationships, career goals, ministry goals, personal goals such as weight loss, and so much more. Self-sabotage is when we actively or passively take steps to prevent ourselves from reaching our goals. And we cannot live out our God-given purpose when we're engaged in self-sabotage. I'm going to say that again. We cannot fully live out our God-given purpose if we're engaged in self-sabotage. So there is power in awareness, right? Being aware and recognizing that this is a challenge in our lives is super empowering. So if you are ready to be empowered, I want you to write in the comment section, there is power in awareness. That is the first step. There is power in awareness. There is power in awareness. If you believe that, put that in the comment box. There is power in awareness. It's a lot of lightning behind my laptop. Yes, Pauline, there is power in awareness. That is the first step to being positioned to break free from self sabotage. So, if you understand and you are ready to really be aware of how this shows up in your life, but there is power in awareness in the comment box. As you guys continue to do that, I'm going to talk about the fact that self sabotage is really deeply ingrained, right? So when I say that, oftentimes self sabotage develops in our childhood and formative years. There are traumas, things that happen that create these beliefs where we feel inadequate, we don't deserve good things. There becomes an identity crisis within us, and these deeply ingrained beliefs are very hard to recognize. So often we can appear as adults to be doing well. We can even appear confident. We can appear productive, but there can be a cycle of self-sabotage happening because we're not progressing to higher levels of success. We're not progressing to more impact and influence the way that God would have us to be. The other thing is that with self-sabotage, and I've seen this in my own life, it shows up because we have adjusted to functioning in a way that we needed to survive, right? So it becomes this coping mechanism to survive traumas and deep disappointments and failures and all of these different things. And we become functional in that. So Grace said there is power in awareness, and that is what we're doing today. We are not just, we're seeking awareness, but as we move beyond it, we want to take the necessary steps and implement the strategies in our lives that help us move beyond it. So if you're becoming aware, type in the comments, I'm becoming aware, right? So let's make it personal. Let's affirm, I am becoming aware. And that just means that I'm becoming aware of how self-sabotage shows up in my individual life. We're all different. We're all unique. We all have different experiences. And we all have different ways that self-sabotage shows up. For some of us, it's in our finances. For some of us, it's in our relationships. For some of us, it's in our personal goals, like maybe trying to eat healthy and lose weight. And yet we're in this cycle of diet after diet and failure after failure. So we have to affirm, hey, I'm becoming aware of what my issue is in my life. What are my challenges as it relates to self-sabotage? Pauline said, I'm becoming aware. Felix said, I'm becoming aware. Just affirm it. Affirm it for yourself. So let's look at a couple of ways that self-sabotage shows up in our lives, right? The first one I want to talk about is procrastination. We talk about procrastination a lot, and oftentimes we even make a joke about it. It's like, oh, I'm a procrastinator, I'll get to that later on. And my whole family, they know, my spouse, significant other, they know I'm a procrastinator. I wait to the last minute. I work well under pressure. But the truth is, when it comes to self-sabotage, procrastination really is just showcasing that underlying, we feel overwhelmed by what we need to do, overwhelmed. We have trouble managing our time, and those are skills that are learnable, or we doubt our skills and our abilities, right? So there's a feeling of inadequacy, a feeling of, am I capable? Can I do this? And so the procrastination helps us to avoid having to deal with the failure, the outcome. In my notes here, I wrote procrastination and avoidance can become an addictive behavior and can also be a way of not taking responsibility for our action. Now that's deep, and most people do not like to hear that. But the reality is that in order for us to become who God wants us to be, to live our potential, to move from functional to fulfill, we have to take full responsibility. Every day I'm reminded that I am responsible for myself, for how I behave, for how I feel, for what I'm thinking. I am responsible for my happiness and my joy. I am responsible for my success. I am responsible for my life. So let's affirm that we are responsible for our lives. In the comments, I'd like you to type in, I take full responsibility for my life. I take full responsibility for my life. That was loud. Wow. Okay, I hope my connection hasn't been interrupted with this huge thunderstorm. So yeah, so if you are feeling that and you want to affirm that, just write in the comments, I take full responsibility for my life. And again, often procrastination is really avoidance, camouflage in this behavior. Pauline said, I take full responsibility for my life. I think it's addictive, absolutely. When we begin to affirm and express that, we become so powerful because now what we're saying is that I am going to take responsibility for my thoughts, my emotions, my behaviors, the things that I do to contribute to failures or successes that are showing up. And when we get to that point, honestly, not only does God bless that, but we evolve and we become so powerful and so unstoppable. Grace said, I take full responsibility for my life. Sydney said, I take full responsibility for my life. And Mahalia is affirming it too. All right, Felix, he got an exclamation mark at the end of that. He's really feeling it. Love it, love it, love it. So these behaviors, when we don't take responsibility, wow, okay. Y'all heard that, right? So when we procrastinate, what that does, it allows us to place the blame on other people. So if we don't take full responsibility, we're basically saying, oh, this argument that we had, or this fallout, or me leaving this job, whatever the fill in the blank is, right? We put the blame on other people, never getting a chance to really learn and grow and see what lesson can we extract from it to become a better person, to become a better leader. And so taking full responsibility is powerful. Here's a second way that self-sabotage shows up outside of procrastination. Jumping ship. What does that mean? So you ever get into a relationship with someone and this is for people that may be dating or people who find themselves having numerous friendships because they're not able to have long-term intimate relationships or friendships, relationships in general. And that is because when misunderstandings or conflicts show up, I'm jumping ship. I don't like conflict. I can't get too close. I can't get too intimate. So self-sabotage shows up in the way that allows us to hide by not being intimate, by putting up these barriers and these walls and just jumping ship. You know, I think we can all say that at some point we know people who we've seen go through relationship after relationship after relationship. And oftentimes they will always blame the other person. Oh, this person doesn't get me. This person doesn't do this. And the reality is there may be some truth to that, but how are we contributing to the constant jumping ship, the constant looking for an escape, the constant not dealing with the underlying problems? So it's tough, but working through challenges and problems helps us to grow. And when we give up before we put effort in, we're missing out on an opportunity to learn how to make different choices in the future. And that is why jumping ship is so important to address, because when we jump ship, we're sabotaging something that could really, really be powerful. It could really be part of our purpose. Oftentimes, relationships that God puts together for a purpose are very opposed, and there will be conflicts, and there will be things that will test that relationship. And if we're not willing to dig through and humble ourselves and be introspective and be reflective and communicate through that, we miss out on the beauty and the power of what God wants to do in those relationships. So it's so important that we don't sabotage these things and we don't just jump ship when things get difficult. The other way is that, well, before I do that, I want to allow us to encourage us to affirm, I will grow from conflict. That each and every one of us, we will embrace conflict moving forward, right? And if you're watching the replay here, I encourage you to type it in the comment box. I will grow from conflict. Affirm yourself in that way. I will grow from conflict. Who else is ready to grow from conflict? We're embracing it, and we're going to learn the specific skills and strategies that we need to go into conflict with confidence, and really with a level of humility to be willing to learn and say, okay, these are some of my weaknesses. These are some of my strengths. I'm personally dealing with conflict right now in my family with one of my children, where we're not seeing eye to eye, we're not understanding each other, and it's causing me to take a step back and to really say, okay, what is it that I'm contributing to this? And being willing to listen and to learn, and asking, my child to do the same thing. And it doesn't feel good, and it's awkward, and sometimes it's painful, but it's absolutely necessary. It's absolutely necessary for both parties in order for us to grow and develop and build our character into the leaders that we're becoming. I love it. Sydney said, I will grow from conflict. Grace said, I will grow from conflict. Mahalia just affirmed, I will grow from conflict. So conflict is good, even though it doesn't feel good. The other way that self-sabotage shows up is putting ourselves down. So often we set a higher standard for ourselves than we do for other people. We're so quick to give other people grace and leeway when they mess up. But when we mess up, we make a mistake, we're so hard on ourselves. Oh, Jessica, you can't do anything right. Why were you so stupid? Why I didn't make it last time? Why should I even bother? And we begin that negative self-talk, and it shows up in a way that is so detrimental to our success. It is so damaging to our esteem and who God wants us to become. So putting ourselves down is a habit that we need to be aware of and consciously move away from. So we have to be patient with ourselves. I'm willing to be patient with myself, and I challenge you and I encourage each and every one of you watching to be patient with yourself. So let's affirm, I will be patient with myself. Let's say that. I will be patient with myself. Right? Because we're so patient with other people. When we can encourage other people, we can love on them, we can embrace them when they do something. But when it comes to ourselves, the person in the mirror, we are pointing that finger, we are chastising, we will beat ourselves down for days and weeks. And it's just not right. And that is a form of self-sabotage. So we are going to affirm today, I will be patient with myself as I'm developing as a leader, as I'm becoming, as I'm evolving, and everything won't be right. And it won't always make sense at the moment, but I'm going to be patient with myself. Yes, keep affirming yourself. Love it. So whether you criticize yourself in front of others or have a habit of negative self-talk, the same thing can happen. Your words may eventually be taken as truth. Did y'all catch that? So if we hear a lie long enough, we begin to believe it and take it as truth. So when we're beating ourselves down, we're talking down to ourselves, that can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so we need to understand that when this happens, we might give up before we even begin. And we cannot afford to give up before we begin. Each and every one of you has a purpose. Each and every one of you has influence. Each and every one of you has an impact to make in the lives of the people around you in whatever way God is calling you, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your business, whether it is in the community, wherever it is. And He's going to need you to get out of your comfort zone and do things that are uncomfortable. But He's also going to need you to break free from these self-sabotaging behaviors. The last one I want to talk about is the fear of success. We talked about fears yesterday, right? Fears are real in the way that we feel them, but they're an illusion in the sense that after we move beyond them and we conquer them, we realize, hey, this wasn't as bad as it seemed, right? So specifically, I want to talk about fear of success because this is so real. Some of us have not made a move. Some of us have not made an investment in ourselves. We haven't gone to take this course, or we haven't gone and done something because we're afraid that if we succeed, that it's going to somehow mess up what we think we want. So I'm going to explain that a little bit more. Some of us fear success because we fear the limelight and we fear what other people will expect from us. Will they expect from us more than we can deliver? This is especially true for leaders, right? This is why we deal with imposter syndrome. Oftentimes we feel like we're an imposter. No matter what we achieve, what we do right, there's always this voice in us that says, you're not doing nothing. Who do you think you are? Why do you think they should listen to you? You think they're going to pay for you to work with them? They're going to buy your product? And there's this constant voice of self-sabotage because deep down there's a fear of success. There's a fear of, can I handle the responsibility? Can I give up the things that I need to give up to be successful? Rather than facing these fears head on, we tend to set ourselves up for failure instead. So this is the time where we have to decide, I will no longer set myself up for failure, but I am going to embrace success. So if that is for you and you're feeling that and you want to affirm that, just type it in the comment box. I embrace success. It is time to break free from this cycle, this dysfunctional cycle of self-sabotage. I embrace success. Just type it in the comment box. Those of you who are watching the replay, affirm yourself. I embrace success. I'm going to talk about different triggers that trigger some of the behaviors of self-sabotage. So number one could be boredom. When we're bored, and the truth is, as purpose-driven leaders, as visionaries, we should not be bored. We should always have something to work towards, always looking to serve. That doesn't mean that we're burning out or that we're not resting and relaxing. That's different from boredom. But when we're bored, boredom is a bridge to destruction. So we have to make sure that if we're bored, we need to evaluate why that is and how that's leading us to self-sabotage. Fear, we talked about those mountains of fears yesterday, revisiting those fears and seeing which ones are the ones that are keeping me stuck. Self-doubt. Self-doubt comes from not feeling capable, looking more at our failures than our wins, that negative self-talk. And then when things are going well, I struggled with this a lot. And this is very true for people that grow up in poverty and have had to struggle their whole life. Like our struggle becomes our identity. And what happens is when good things start happening and we reach certain levels of success, we begin to retreat, and subconsciously we're causing ourselves to fail because we don't believe deep down that we deserve good things. And we've been so accustomed to struggling that is all we connect with and identify with. And so it's a very deep layered problem, but we have to talk about it because self-sabotage will rob us of our purpose, of our destiny, and it will break the heart of God. So, what can we do now to break free from self sabotage? I'm going to talk about a couple of things and then we're going to begin to wrap up. Mahalia said, I will no longer set myself up for failure in capital letters. She said, I embrace success, powerful, and I am believing that with you. Pauline said, I can identify with that, Jess. That is very real. And that was something that I've had to pray through and work through. And I just saw myself in this cycle of constantly just stepping back. I make progress 5 steps and then bam, I hit a wall and I'm back 10 steps. And this went on for years. And it wasn't until I was able to identify the root. And that was rooted in my identity. So it's powerful. So what can we do now? I encourage everyone that when you print out the PDF file that I'm going to upload today, that you also have a journal. If you notice the handouts, they have a few lines, but I'm sure that for those of you that are really going in and reflecting and taking time to be introspective, you're using the back of the paper or you're using a journal. Use a journal to track your triggers. Find out, when am I triggered? When is negative self-talk showing up? When am I seeing behaviors come up in a relationship that I have? When am I showcasing fear of success? When is my struggle mentality coming out? And look for cycles throughout your life. Look for the things that you've been involved in and ask yourself, what are those cycles? Where are they? Practice mindfulness and non-judgmental awareness, and specifically non-judgmental, meaning do not judge yourself. Do not beat yourself up. Do not look down on yourself saying, oh, you should have been much further ahead at your age. You should know this by now. Like, non-judgmental. The same way we would be patient and compassionate and empathetic with someone that we may be encouraging or ministering to. That's how we need to treat ourselves. Have an awareness of thoughts and behaviors in the present moment. Here's a powerful thought. Pray and ask God to reveal habits and cycles that do not serve you. I want to encourage you to pray the scripture, Psalm 139:23. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. God will reveal the cycles to us. We just have to be listening. We have to ask. Then seek healing through prayer, through journaling. For some of us, it will be art. It will be through different expressions of our emotions. And for some of us, the reality is we may need to see a therapist, a licensed therapist. And there is no shame in that, because when we are in the picture, when we're in the frame of a picture, we can't see the picture. So sometimes we need to have another party help us to dissect the pieces of our photo that we're framed in, if that makes sense. So I'm a big advocate for therapy and how therapy can be used alongside prayer to promote wellness and to break us free and move beyond these mountains that so often show up. So here's what we're going to do. I want all of us to affirm, I am breaking free. I am breaking free. Hello, Eva Thomas. That is my mom. Lila said that's a beautiful psalm. Yes, that is one of my favorites. If you look at Psalm 139, it talks about how we are fearfully and wonderfully and powerfully created. We are beautiful in God's image, and He has given us the gift of awareness and has really equipped us to not live in these dysfunctional cycles. So, Lila, it's good to have you with us. Hey, Mark. I'm so excited to see all of you here. So yes, say, I am breaking free. Let's go out affirming ourselves. I am breaking free. I am moving every mountain. If I can't move it, I'm going to climb it. I'm going to be stronger from the climb up. So we are breaking free. So I have had such a delight so far. We are at Wednesday. We have 2 more nights. And then I'm going to have some special announcement, and we're going to do some recognition. So shout out to all of you that have been participating in this challenge. If you have somebody that you would like to invite into the group to take part in this challenge, they can definitely do that. The videos will be available through the weekend, and then they're being deleted. They're not going to be here the whole time, right? So let's make sure that if we need to catch the replays, if we need to invite anyone, that we are going to do that this week before Sunday. So I am breaking free. Paulette said, hey, Jess. Hey, Paulette. Dr. Detra's in the house. Yes, she said, I'm moving every mountain. Janae said, love the analogy to being in the frame, not being able to see ourselves in there and needing outside perspective. I believe that therapy is a very good way to do that, to be in a place where we can gain that perspective and take it to God in prayer and add it to our personal development. So we went a minute or two over time, but it has been great. My mom said, good job, daughter. Thank you, Mom, for being proud of me. Love you. And we will be back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And we're going to talk about our next mountain. So be on the lookout for the PDF file. I'm going to upload it in a few minutes. And I cannot wait to see how God speaks to you and what you get out of this when you complete this 5-day challenge. Just so excited. And I'm so proud of each and every one of you. All right, guys. I'm signing off. God bless. See you tomorrow, 7 p.m.